We're now welcoming Hubert Kotliński, who will be talking about scaling solutions for Ethereum, so it neatly connects to the previous conversation. He is a business developer at L2Beat, and he will be talking about blockchains, Ethereum blockchain and scaling solutions, as I mentioned, as well as the overall state of the market, with a presentation, should everybody launch their own rollup? So if you could welcome him, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll just grab the really quickly. So hello, everybody. I'm Hubert, as he said, and I would like to talk about scaling solutions. So basically, does everybody should launch their own rollup today? So first, one quick question. Did any of you use Ethereum before this hackathon? Like if you did, you can raise your hand. Okay, so how many of you used NL2 before this hackathon? Okay, nice. And which one, may I ask? For example, you? Okay, and you? Okay, and you? Also Ethereum? Okay, nice. Okay, nice. So basically, if you used any of those networks, you probably understand what is the problem here. So in times when you have like a big congestion of users on Ethereum, so for example, the new meme coin like Pepe is launching, or eigenlayer caps are raised, the gas fees are going crazy. So there is like, I don't know, you need to pay $100 or $150 per one transaction. So if you're like a normal user that's just starting, if you are not a whale or something in our industry, this is basically making you like basically you can't use Ethereum network, right? So Ethereum can now process around 14 transactions per second. So if you compare it to stuff like MasterCard or Visa or anything that can process like thousands and thousands of transactions every second, basically it looks like a pet project of somebody, right? So it would be perfect if you could like somehow execute more transactions so more users can use it actually. But the problem is if we'll do it, oh, excuse me. This is only going, okay. So basically, like we have this problem that the block space is limited, right? We need to choose which transaction will get to the block. For me, it's really similar to the stuff that happened like 20 years ago. So why there is only like 151 original Pokemons? Because like the cartridges were limited. You couldn't put more of them. They were more designs, more ideas to put into the game, but you just couldn't. So like right now, I think that Ethereum is on the level of the Game Boy, let's say, and we still need to move like to the stuff like Nintendo Wii or anything like that. So what our choice is, how we can like allow more users to come to Ethereum and use it. So basically we can scale it on chain. So we can, for example, upgrade the code of Ethereum somehow. So like introduce like some complex stuff, like for example sharding, that I will not be getting into because like it's like a topic for another presentation. Or for example, we can use some alternative L1s like Polygon or something, and then transfer the funds between those. Or we can do it off-chain. So we can maybe have another solution that is somehow connected to the Ethereum itself. So the problem with on-chain solutions is that they are extremely complicated, and like developing them will take us at least another 5, 10, 15, even more years. So, and we have the problem right now, right? We want to use Ethereum right now. So they came up, the researchers came up with the idea of off-chain scaling. So so-called layer 2, so another layer built on top of Ethereum that you can use. That is like basically cheaper and more faster, and allows you to then maybe somehow connect those transactions on Ethereum to get to still get its security. Because if you would, for example, make like, for example, block space on Ethereum bigger, then some of the nodes that are running around the world are, for example, I don't know, maybe Raspberry Pi or like some low-level hardware, right? So they would need to be shut down right now. So if there will be less nodes, less computers that are making the Ethereum network, the security goes down, right? Because it's easier to, like, for example, do like 66% attack, right? So you can just set up your own nodes and take control over Ethereum. Yeah, so for now, like Vitalik Buterin and other researchers agreed that the next step for the Ethereum revolution, for like at least a midterm, is developing L2s. We have a couple of versions of L2s right now. That mostly depends if they actually send their data to Ethereum or not, or they are storing it somewhere else. And if you can actually prove that the data there is like true. So we have like two solutions right now, fraud proofs and validity proofs that I will be talking more about in a second. But first question, why we even need rollups, right? Why rollups and not like some other like alt one, right? Like why not like Polygon POS or anything? Basically, the problem is that if you are building your own L1, you need to set up everything from scratch. You need to start like Ethereum did. So you need to set up nodes, get people to know what you are doing, to like learn. Like for example, Ethereum has Solidity, so you maybe want to have your own programming language or anything like that. So it's becoming kind of hard to do it. And right now, Ethereum is dominating in the dev market. Let's say there are like a lot of devs there. And also the second problem, you need to build this economic security. And for example, like Bitcoin right now have around 10.5 billion of economic security. It's like, compared to the hashes that the hash power that the network has, because, this is still a proof of work implementation. And Ethereum has 105 billion of economic security. So that's because to validate any transaction on Ethereum, you basically need to set up a node, have at least 32 ETH, right? And then you can only start securing those transactions, start earning some additional ETH as well. So if somebody would like to, for example, take advantage of that, like take control over Ethereum, they need at least 66 billion of ETH theoretically, right, in USD. So it's actually pretty safe to use, right? So ideally, you would want to have your own solution that is using like, for example, faster, cheaper, as I said, and then store the data on Ethereum. And in case if you're like your chain that is like less secure, right? Maybe you have only one server that everything is running on. This server gets destroyed. You still have the data on Ethereum, so you can basically do a rollback, and you can set up a network again with like everybody's balance will be the same, right? Nothing will change, and the funds are still safe. So right now we have like most of the researchers I know, at least, this agrees that rollups are the way to go. They are like a bit supreme L2 solutions for now, because they are the most secure ones. So we have two implementations of those. We have ZK rollups and optimistic rollups. So ZK rollups, you could say there are like pessimistic rollups, because let's say you have this chain, right? You are executing some transactions, you are building a block, then this block needs to be sent to Ethereum, and then like everybody can send something to Ethereum, right? It's permissionless. So like the problem is like you can send a block that one transaction is changed, for example, and I know you send me 100 ETH and I just deleted the transaction, or like maybe it makes more sense in the opposite direction. I added the transaction that you sent me 100 ETH, and now you have nothing and I have all of your money. So then you need to somehow check if the state that you are sending to Ethereum is true. So in terms of ZK rollups, we are basically validating every single block. So we are checking if the data from the block is actually like, correct. But that's, gets expensive because you need to run those operations on Ethereum itself. So you still need to pay the gas for it. And then you have optimistic rollups. So we are putting you are optimistic that everything is fine, basically. We are putting those blocks with transactions on Ethereum, and everybody assumes, okay, we are all super honest. Nobody lied. And we only disputing if somebody is like thinking, okay, this block feels kind of sketchy. Let's check if everything is fine there, and only then you run those operations to check if it's like true, right? So like as you can probably imagine, it's a lot more. Well, it's like less secure. Yeah. So what could be the purpose of the rollup right now? We have like, let's say two ways of thinking. We have a general purpose rollups. So like the biggest one that you guys used. So Arbitrum, Optimism, Base as a fork of Optimism as well, Blast, Starknet, whatever. And they support arbitrary computations, allowing for the development of arbitrary applications and functionalities. So basically like build anything. And they are like application-specific rollups. So let's say you are like the biggest DEX on Ethereum or something, and you are basically, your users are paying a lot of fees to operate on you. So maybe you can like move to Ethereum, you are, move to L2, you are making your own chain. Your users will come with you because they like your brand. I don't know, they like your implementation or anything. They feel safe when they are using your DEX. They will move with you. There you are basically making all the money because you own the networks, so the fees are still going to you for every single transaction. And then at the end of the day, you are just sending the data of those transactions on Ethereum, and they are still theoretically on the same level of security as when you were operating on Ethereum itself. So like right now, application-specific rollups, this is from our website. So you have like launch pads, for example, you have like some kind of NFTs marketplaces, you have like, I don't know, gaming, right? So if you have a game that everybody is playing, you don't want to do it on Ethereum because they will pay like $200 for a gas or something. So you just have your own, you're just launching your own solution. So basically, let's say right now we have this rollup that we have the other chain somewhere. So how to send your funds from Ethereum to such solution? So you can move it like in a couple of different ways. The two most important ones are native bridges and third-party bridges. So you can use a native bridge that is basically like the smart contract built by the rollup team, and it's like set on Ethereum. You are sending some, let's say, ETH to it. Then it's locked there in the smart contract, or maybe Burns is sent to like some random address. And it's, let's say right now it's staying there, right? And at the same time, you are minting the same amount of ETH on this like L2. And of course, they are using the same cryptography. So your private key on Ethereum is like your public address on Ethereum is the same as on this L2 if you are using the same private key. And then you can operate on this L2, send some transactions to your friend. Let's say they cost like, I don't know, $0.1 or something, or even less now. And then you decided, okay, I had some fun. I sent some transactions. Now I want to leave because the L2 is less secure than Ethereum itself. I want to go back. You just go to the native bridge. You are putting some. You can withdraw to Ethereum, right? And after some time, you are losing the ETH on the chain itself, on the L2 chain, and your ETH on L1 is freed, and you can use it again. So this is like the most secure approach for most of the rollups because your ETH is always there in the smart contract, and if the state is like the fact that you send some ETH to the chain is on Ethereum itself because the original smart contract is on L1. So if the L2 will like somehow get deleted from Earth, right? Let's say you had only one server, as I said, in some country, and the countries lost the access to internet or anything, so you lost the access to the server as well. You can still withdraw it theoretically with the correct implementation of this smart contract. Just then, when the chain will be up again, they will just know that you withdraw it during this time, and you will not longer have this ETH on the chain, right? On the L2 chain. And then you can use third-party bridges. They are usually faster and cheaper, but the problem is you, for example, don't have this. You are sending the ETH from one L2 to like the other one, right? So if both of them are dead, and you had like 100 ETH on them, you have no proof that you actually sent anything on Ethereum itself because Ethereum never went down since the merge, and you are basically like screwed a bit, right? So only like, for example, some other users send their ETH like to those L2s via the native bridges, and they can withdraw. You can. The problem with that is that some new L2s like Blast, I don't know if any of you heard about it, for example, he thought, okay, users are sending the ETH to this smart contract. We have this L2. They are doing some easy stuff, some random stuff on our chain, right? But there is just so much ETH on this smart contract. Like, oh my God, they send us like 1 million ETH or something, like, and just sitting in there, and let's maybe do something with it, right? So for example, let's say we take 70% of it, we are putting in some, like, I don't know, on the DEX or anything, we put it on leverage, and we like, let's say, oh, ETH will go up, right? And they are putting it like 1 million ETH on the leverage, and they won, right? So the ETH went up, and now they have additional $1 million, and they, okay, half of this money we'll take for ourselves, and half of it we'll give to our users. So you have like this so-called native yield. Then, so everybody that's deposited to their smart contract is getting some additional ETH in like set periods of time, for example, right? The problem is 70% of this ETH is somewhere else, not on the smart contract itself. So let's say, I don't know, somebody heard that there is a bug on Blast or something. So, and everybody, there is a start of bank run, right? Everybody wants to go from Blast back to Ethereum because Ethereum is safer. Nobody will, there is no bugs on Ethereum, right? So right now. Yeah, the problem is that there is only 30% of this ETH on this smart contract. So only 30% of people can actually withdraw it, right? Because the other part is somewhere else. Nobody knows where. So if you are like, you know, if you hear about it one day or 2 days after, you are also screwed. You can't withdraw anything. You just have some like token on the L2 that everybody knows is broken in some way. So nobody wants to use it anyway. So let's say your ETH on this L2 is not exactly the same as the ETH on L1 itself, right? Yeah, so there are like many ways of thinking. For me, I would prefer like a normal, like, you know, like for example, Arbitrum bridge or anything that I know that my funds will be secure on. But maybe you are a Gigen or you want to make some more money and still like have some more risk associated with it. That's also cool. Yeah, okay. So as I said, there are this concept of L2s, right? And the problem is Ethereum Foundation said, okay, make L2s, right? The rollups are the way to go for the future of Ethereum. But they didn't make, like, for example, only one or 2 or 3 official rollups for Ethereum and said, okay, use those chains. Like they are like official ones. They just thought, okay, this is an open market, build whatever you want. So then, like, you know, Arbitrum happened, Optimism happened, Starknet, Linea, anything you would think about. And if you are an end user, when you are hearing those words, Arbitrum, Optimism, like, I don't know, like Blast, anything like that, you don't really understand what is going on. Like every single L2 is different, right? Different teams are building it. There are different implementation. They use different code, different libraries, anything you can think of. And the problem is you don't know what is happening anymore. So you can, so this is when L2Bit is coming. Basically, Ethereum Foundation wanted to have some kind of like, you know, a website that every single user could check which rollup is, for example, more secure and which one is more decentralized. So we are researching those solutions. We are checking them in every single aspect. We are just checking their smart contracts, and then we present it in like easy to understand way. We have like, for me at least, we have 2 most important things right here. Our decentralization dashboard called Stages and Risk Rosette Pi. So I will talk about it maybe in the minute. But first, maybe let's visit L2Bit, or I just hope I can do it on this computer, right? So I would like to show it like directly if it's possible. Yeah. So in the meantime, if you are interested, you can scan the QR code and have fun on our website yourself. But if it's a problem, it's okay at l2bit.com. Okay, so here's our website. I will just put it in the dark mode. I'm in dark mode maxi. Yeah, so basically you have this website that lists every single L2 out there. You see the total value locked on that, like, you know, for the whole, like, let's say market, like for every single L2. If you will go down, you have every single L2 out there as well. So we have stuff like Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, Blast, and so on and so on. You can check the risks. For example, let's say you want to send funds there. So what will happen if there is some kind of malicious upgrade, right? So you know that they want to change something in the code, and then you will not be able, for example, to withdraw your ETH, right? So we have like a stuff called exit window. So when they will like try to announce such an upgrade, you have exactly 2 days to withdraw your funds, other than because like later you are screwed right now again. And there are like many other like risk parts that I don't have unfortunate time to talk about right now, but I can after this presentation. Also, this stages thing I talk about, this is like how much the L2 is decentralized compared to Ethereum, for example, because like most of them are still in like these early stages. So for example, the team that built certain L2, so for example, off-chain labs or anything like that, still like, for example, is running their own nodes and only they can do it, or like this is like not true, of course. I mean, I'm not sure if that's true because I didn't check, but let's say this is like this theoretical scenario. And if they will shut down the servers, the nodes, the whole network goes down, right? Yeah, so like go nuts, check it out. We have also we have a lot of other stuff on our website as well. So DA, when those data of those transactions is it going to Celestia? Is it going to Ethereum directly? We have stuff like liveness, finality, to check if those chains are actually posting stuff on the chains they should be posting. Activity, of course. So if there is like more transactions on a certain chain, like for example, right now I see Base has a lot of them. Probably another like meme coin or something, not sure. And then costs. This is the new one. So basically, I don't know if you heard about blobs and AIP 4844. So basically, we are tracking how much those rollups are paying to set up on Ethereum. Or as I said, they were doing that. This is like the main advantage of a rollup. And till now, it was like completely. This was like super crazy expensive for them. So Arbitrum, for example, paid $34 million in ETH to set up on Ethereum. So as you can see, it was pretty significant. And right now, after IIP 4844, they can use blobs. Blobs have a completely separate market for gas fees. They are a lot cheaper. I also would like to talk about blobs after the presentation because my time is running out. And since they changed. So like since the change, so like let's say 30 days, they paid only 226K. So as you can see, like the shift from paying millions of dollars to like hundreds of dollars is pretty significant. And like all the money that they are saving now, they can use, for example, for stuff like grants, stuff like I don't know, paying for like conferences or anything via the governance. So as you can see, it was a pretty significant step. So maybe let's quickly go back to the presentation right now, and I will just finish talking about this as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like we talked about L2Bit. So I also would like to talk about the current state of the space really quickly. So you have the teams that were building L2s for a long time, right? Like Arbitrum or Optimism. So their codes are open source. You can actually use it yourself if you want, as well as, for example, Polygon CDK. Basically, those codes are backed by like companies with millions of funding. So they will probably make them even better in the future. In my view, this is like basically like all of the Node.js libraries, like or anything like in the standard developer field. Like you can just take it basically right now, use it for yourself, and then when Optimism will add, for example, fraud proofs or any other implementation, you can just basically, upgrade your rollup as well. Then you have rollup as a service. So basically like some kind of like cloud services for rollups. So basically you can just go to their website, set up everything. Okay, I want to, like, for example, Conduit, Altlayer, or Caldera websites. I want to use OP Stack and I want to set up on Ethereum and I want to the gas to be paid in like my own token, because let's say you already have like some kind of project that, I don't know, you launch your own token before, and the gas on this network will be the token itself. So your users who bought this token in the past can actually, they don't need to change it for Ethereum, for example, for Ether, for example. And then you have this new hot topic that is like, let's say like 6 months old or something. So DA after Celestia launched. So let's say, like, as I said, before 4844, posting this data on Ethereum was crazy expensive. So Celestia thought, okay, so maybe let's make a chain that you can like post that is strictly for like containing the data of your transactions from L2, and let's make a special type of bridge between Celestia and Ethereum. And then if like there is like some kind of app on Ethereum that wants to know if the data that you are like doing some transactions on L2 actually happened, they can just ask Celestia, and it's like basically crazy cheap to check it, right? Then like a lot, of course, Avail is coming, EigenDA from EigenLayer, and like many other implementations as well. So this is like basically a Google Drive for your company. You can, if you are a rollup, you can just send your data there, but you are not running the infrastructure yourself. So this is like, this implementation has more risks, right? It's more risky than like setting up on Ethereum directly. Yeah, and the blobs 4844, you can check on our D8 app which L2 is actually using it. If they are using it, they are probably a lot cheaper than their competitors right now. The market for blobs is different. It's like the new type transaction free, type free on Ethereum. But as I said, I don't really have time, I think, to talk about those. So catch me after the presentation. Yeah, the costs. So how much does it cost to maintain your rollup? This might seem like less important topic, right? But there were some cases that somebody launched an L2 via OP stack, let's say, and back then you had to send the data to Ethereum, even if nobody made any transactions on your chain. You were just posting like nothing, basically, and you still had to pay the gas on Ethereum itself. So there were some chains with no users, and they still had to post it, and they basically like were running the bleeding money, let's say. So like it's really important if you're making a rollup to just think about anything that can happen. Maybe there will be a month or 2 months or 3 months that nobody will do anything on your chain because, I don't know, they will move to somewhere else, right? So you need to have that in mind as well. So what are the costs? Of course, you can choose to send the transaction as call data. So like normally, like they will take like, this is like same like you would do on Ethereum, right? Like in very similar way. Then blobs, then like you need to pay something for computing, and there's like standard overhead price that you need to pay for as well. Yeah, and the last thing I would like to show you is deploying, how easy it is to actually deploy a rollup right now. If you, for example, have an app right on Ethereum that is using it, if you could open the Conduit website as well. There are a lot of rollup as a services. I'm not saying that one is better than another, but it just, I'm not sure if I will be able to show it though, because I guess I would have to make an account. I hopefully not. But let's see. Okay, I would need to sign up with Google. I don't want to do that. It's not my computer. But basically, you would have to go there. This, like, as I said, this cloud service in some sort. They are running you want to make a rollup. They run the infrastructure for you. You are just clicking, okay, I want to, oh, they have a demo here. I want to have OP stack that is settling up on Celestia, and I want to use my own token as a Gauss token, and you are just paying like, I don't know, $3,000. That I guess depends on the rollup as a service provider, and the rollup is here. You are just need to basically launch a great marketing campaign, promise some points to your users, and they will keep throwing ETH on you. No, joking, of course, but you could theoretically do it, right? So yeah, coming back to my presentation, I think that's the end of it. This on as Acrobat Reader, right? Okay, PowerPoint. Okay, so basically, I hope I at least showcase the whole L2 space for you, and you understand where is it actually going to and what is happening. I skipped like the technical part because it's super complicated, but I would love to talk about it with you as well. Yeah, so let's stay in touch. I I hope you liked it, and ask any questions you would like right now. Thank you. Yeah, I'm staying for like whole hackathon there because I'm also a judge. So any more like questions or not really? If not, like as I said, I'm here. Feel free to just come to me and ask those. And yeah, see you around. Thank you.